Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation. Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and we have folks in the chat. Let's see here. We have Francois. Oh no, I'm not sleeping yet. Hi, Francois. We have K-Mac Vintage. Hi, Will. We have Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. We have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. Hi, Jeremy. And we have SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. All right, let's see here. Go ahead and get right into the juicy parts. Got the Trident Fund Gola meter, and the link is in the video description. And now, without further ado, I think it's time for...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan!
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
Yes, everyone's favorite segment. And we have Retro Techie in the chat. Hi, Retro Techie. And we have boxes on the workbench with redacted addresses, so you know what that means. Potential eBay regrets. One of which I've already opened. Anyways, I don't remember if I showed these previously, but well, first up we have these three items, which are the three correct items from the purchase, and it is a short IDE cable for a G4 tower. It's a part of the case for a G4 tower, and not to like set any lower expectations here, it is a hard drive bracket for a G4 tower. Alright, and as you might be suspecting, those are for my G4 tower! Whoa! Give yourself a pat on the back if you got that one right. Yay! And we have Mac Effects. Hi, Mac Effects. Welcome! Oh, Retro Techie has a coffee goal of $200 US for a desoldering gun. I'll have to check my wallet later. Alright, next we have... Oh, Retro Techie. By the way, Retro Techie, wouldn't you be buying it in Canadian dollars anyways? We have a box that I think I know what's in it. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, to my Canadian friends, I won a round of Best Table Topics in Toastmasters today. Because my question was, what country has the best currency? And I had to answer Canada. Because you all have the loonie. You all have plastic money. And you all don't have pennies. So, no roundup, no roundup, no roundup. It's kind of like no whammy, except no roundup. Hey, Gut Bum! Hi, Jason. Welcome. Retro Techie wants to change to get some lunch to celebrate. Oh, they have toonies, too. I forgot all about the toonies. But I remembered the loony. Everyone got a laugh out of it. They probably thought I was being loony. Anyways. Alright. After building the cache recorder I went on eBay and I found an actual Farallon Mac recorder. Isn't this cool? Look, it is such an early edition that has patents pending. Oh, and they do have a built-in mic. That's really cool. So there, if you wondered what a real Mac recorder looks like, there it is. It has a built-in serial cable, and it even had the floppy disks, which have probably already been archived, but I'll double-check that. K-Mac Vintage says, so they have Looney Toonies. Yeah. So anyways, what did I pay for this Farallon Mac recorder? Well, let me tell you, I didn't pay what some of them go for. Mainly because, well, it doesn't have the original box. Oh no. We're not going to pay no $800 for a new in-box or used still in-box Farallon Mac recorder. No, I paid $29.99 for a not in-box Farallon Mac recorder. And you'll probably see a video about this at some point. I thought it was a bargain. And apparently, now that I have a Mac recorder and, oh, there it is, a cache recorder, I have been told that you can use both at the same time and record in stereo. Or if you had two Mac recorders, you can record in stereo. So, there we go. I might have to give that fun and craziness a try. Anyways, so a Farallon Mac recorder with actual, let's see here, I think it's the sound edit, and yeah, Farallon sound edit, and there's the Farallon sound toolkit. Gutbomb says binaural audio from a Mac Plus. Lunacy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. See that I really do try to buy fun stuff for future streams and videos with coffee tips. Gutbomb says caught up now. Wasn't that late? And last but not least, we have this box wrapped in brown craft paper, which I covered the entire customs declaration on. Hi, Dave. Welcome. Now, I don't think anyone will be able to guess what is in this box, but I will tell you this. This thing weighs 1 kilogram. Don't ask me what that is. I think it's like 2.2 pounds. Don't ask me exactly how heavy it is. I just went by the shipping label, and it said 1 kilogram. Also, I just about dropped the thing pulling it out of my mailbox. I didn't realize how heavy it would be. Gutbomb says, I think I'm going to skip NHL 25 and stick with the NHL 94 ROMhacks. I'm still trying to play Exciting Baseball on my MSX. Hey! We have a $4.99 super chat from MacEffects. Keep buying more goodies. Yeep! Steve is the real Eep master, but I try. Alright, we have... Alright. I buy the finest stuff on eBay, and we have... a cat food box! Woohoo! Alright, I'm feeling good about this already. Oh, and interestingly enough, the cat food that was in it weighed 1.02 kilograms. So this box was not overloaded. Now, Gutbomb says Justin got him some dinner on eBay. All right, Dave. $10 super chat. Buy even more goodies. Eep. I will let you all try to guess where I bought this from based on the... I don't know that one's necessarily as exciting, but there you go. Ooh, No colorants, same great taste. Okay, whatever. I will take their word for it. Got it from my neighbor, though. No. What country did I buy this from? Did this come from Eastern Europe? I don't think this country is considered part of Eastern Europe, but it is on the eastern half of Europe. Retro Techie guesses Tunisia. Nope, try again. Some of those languages are probably there to throw you off. Or at least I know what country this was supposed to come from. Interesting. It would appear as if this is a... That sure looks like that is Cyrillic. Interesting. I can tell you what country it posted from. Nope. It did not come from Israel. It did come from Europe. Oh, looky here. Another box. This time, we have a panda. Okay, I hope it's not panda food. Oh, wow, this is getting interestinger and interestinger. I was thinking that maybe somewhere in here, something would be a clue to the country it actually came from, but, well, no one's going to America. No, it actually came from somewhere in Europe. I can tell you that because one of the tracking statements on the tracking for it was, yes, your package has arrived in the destination country. It's like, okay, I wish all postal systems for international mail were as excited as that tracking statement to tell you that your package had made it to customs in your country. Gutbomb says they feed pandas to cats in whatever country this is from. Gutbomb's Retro Techie says it's bedtime. Well, good night, Retro Techie. Thanks for hopping in for a few minutes. All right, and finally, I got to the good stuff. I hope. I hope this is the good stuff. All right. So, what did I buy? Well, I bought a lot of a lot as in an auction lot, although it does look like a lot as in a lot. A space LOT. Dave says, what on dip? Yeah, no. Most of these are keyboard controllers, although there were a few other chips mixed in with them. Believe it or not, oh wow, it's even on top. That's actually, I think I actually need this particular keyboard controller to fix a motherboard. Anyways, I bought a lot of keyboard controllers of varying types, and there are a few other chips mixed in here. But yeah, most of these are keyboard controllers. I think there's a few like floppy controllers and some like I/O controllers, and I think maybe a couple serial chips in here. But anyways, yeah, I bought a lot of dip chips. And hopefully in the coming weeks, I will slowly test these, at least the ones I can. And the ones that I don't need for projects, I was going to probably list on my coffee store that I haven't set up yet. So that if anyone's looking for a obscure keyboard controller, or possibly one of these other chips, because I believe all of these are pulls and not like remarked. I'm pretty sure all of these are pulls, and they are looking like they're pulled. So, anyways, yeah, I bought them to kind of get what I needed from it, and then sell the rest to help people find obscure chips. So, anyways, a box of dip chips. So if you've got a old PC motherboard that has a particular keyboard controller on it, if I haven't listed them yet, you can ask me to take a look and see if it's in there. Like, I know I've got some HT6542s and a couple other keyboard controllers that I recognized are like, oh yeah, I know a lot of motherboards use that controller. Because some PC motherboards, they used a specific controller that was programmed with some extra features on it. Like this version F keyboard controller, I'm pretty sure the version F controls turbo. And I've got a motherboard with a dead version F keyboard controller, and it actually will stop at post because the keyboard controller is missing. So, or it's bad. Luckily, it came with it. But anyways, yeah. Jeremy says I keep hearing dip and chips. That's making me hungry. Well, these came in a cat food box and then in a panda box. So no one guessed it. I'm surprised no one guessed it came from the Netherlands. Yeah, I know. Go figured. I was hoping there would be something in the box that would give you a hint, but well, apparently not. So yes, the Netherlands post is their tracking statuses are quite friendly and cheery. So let's see here. That is all. Oh, and I actually ordered those dip chips 3 weeks ago, so I've been waiting 3 weeks for them. Jeremy says not that hungry. Yeah. Now, the post office tried to deliver one item today. Unfortunately, it came registered mail from a different European country that I believe is, well, actually somewhere center to Eastern Europe. I don't know that it's exactly considered Eastern Europe, but I think it is on the eastern side. Unfortunately, it was coming registered. Given what country it's coming from, I don't blame the seller for sending it registered mail. So, unfortunately, I was not home, so it will be waiting at the post office for me this weekend. Anyways, I ordered that one 3 or 4 weeks ago. It spent, I don't know how many days waiting at the airport to get put on a plane. But anyways, Gupalm says the Netherlands is definitely on the western half of Europe. K-Max says I would have told you that. As that's my nationality. I was looking at my phone. Oh. Anyways, yeah, that little package from the Netherlands. I think that might be the first thing I bought from the Netherlands. And the other item, I'll just let you know, it's coming from Greece. So I quite honestly don't blame them for sending it registered mail. Because quite honestly, I think it sat at the airport for 2 weeks waiting to be put on a plane. So I'm kind of glad it was sent registered mail. But that means I'll have to go to the post office and sign for it. No big deal. K-Max says they love to tape up packages with 2 or 3 rolls. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was one other thing for Wheel of Regrets. I decided not to bring it downstairs. But I have an update on the Mac Plus case I bought that arrived open and slightly damaged. Jeremy says, so Justin went Dutch on us. Figures. Funny. So, I submitted the return request to eBay, I guess it would have been Wednesday morning, because I told you all during my live stream Tuesday that I was just going to return the Plus, because I was done waiting for the eBay seller to send me pictures of their proposed case. It's not my job to babysit the seller. Submitted the return request Wednesday morning. They did nothing Wednesday day, as like yesterday afternoon. I guess it had been yesterday morning I submitted the request. Yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening, I finally got an email that said, the seller's accepted your return request. Please wait for the label. And then didn't get a label. This morning, out of the blue, I get a partial refund offer from the seller. One last partial refund offer of $50 partial refund to keep the case, and I accepted it. So I am going to keep that Mac Plus case that arrived slightly damaged and is missing the screws and knob. And it will have cost me a total of $26. And so that is the one I am going to send to Dave to RetroBrite. And the minor repair. Because Dave actually had offered to do that to that case. It needs it more than the other case. So, Dave, I will probably get that out to you early to mid next week. And I appreciate your RetroBrite in advance. It also has the added benefit of... I don't have to, have part a Mac and try to keep the part safe. And Dave can have as much time as he needs. So anyways, yeah, that'll be good. So, yep. So, came to a final equitable offer, and I accepted it. So, I'll get that out to Dave. I will send it in a different box, though, so it will arrive safely, hopefully. And, yeah, and we'll all see what Dave does with the crack. In fact, he might even work on that case during one of his live streams. Who knows? No obligation to do so, Dave, if you've got other plans for your live streams over the coming weeks, but let's see here. So yeah, I think that is everything for Wheel of Regrets tonight. And we will go ahead and go on to... Oh, wait, I think there is one more thing for Wheel of Regrets. Because I don't think I actually physically showed it, but this is also the segue to tonight's project. So let me go to table cam so it can be a dramatic reveal. But yeah, let's see here. I could do like a 2001 A Space Odyssey reveal. Like, dun, 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 dun. And actually, the item is hiding under the single board computer. Alright, well, hopefully okay, Dave will do it on the... Jeremy says a C16-bit ISA. There is no... There's no hiding ISA from Jeremy. It's like... It's like he's an Irish setter pointing at the... whatever Irish setters are used for hunting. Except ISA slots. It's like, oh, ISA! Yes, the item that would be the last Wheel of Regrets item, because I don't think I actually showed this, but I actually found the correct backplane for this case. And I will decline to admit how much I actually paid for it. Thomas Armstrong says Trident cards. But I found... Or at least I am fairly sure this is the backplane that would have come with this case. Oh, I'll need that. Those are the screws. Alright, so... I can remember... Oh, that's right. I can remember how the thing comes apart. Oh, that's right. I put the screws back in it last time I had this out so that I wouldn't lose them. There we go. Jeremy says, we can all agree that I paid too much for this regret. Yeah, probably. Rudy said, yeah, Thomas guessed Trident cards. Rudy guessed VIC-20 with an ISA slot. Jeremy's thinking I paid too much. Yeah, I probably paid too much for the backplane. The case, I don't know. I probably didn't pay too much for the case, but I probably did pay too much for the backplane. Thomas Armstrong says a cassette player for PCI. Anyways, I have a 6-slot backplane, and this happens to be a 6-slot chassis. It has 3 ISA and 3 PCI slots. And 2 of those ISA slots are PICMG slots, so that the single board computer can go in those. And if we slide the backplane into the case, I believe we will find that I have all 9 standoffs lined up with mounting holes. Although I think it looks like I've got all, yep, there we go, the holes line up. Jeremy says, did the case and backplane come from the same seller? No, they did not. Let's just say that I was watching this backplane, and it was actually one that I'd thought about buying but didn't at first. And after my live stream where the new backplane didn't fit the case, I went back to my watch list and found this backplane, and I just started staring at the hole pattern. And I was like, that kind of looks familiar. And I came back down here stairs and looked at the chassis. I was like, well, the holes do appear to be in a line in the chassis. And it did appear as if the second set of screw holes kind of lined up with the edge of where the bracket would be. Because I was like, yeah, it looks like it would be in about this area. I was like, well, okay. Looks like the holes could line up. So then I went looked at the auction photo again. I'm like, yeah, that looks about right. Because the third set of holes is somewhere about the 5th slot. Okay. And, yeah, I took the chance and bought it. Because I was like, I think that's actually the right backplane. Jeremy's asking, is the keyboard port on the single board computer? I can't remember. Yes, it is. Gutbomb says, in honor of your stream tonight, I've been working on making some industrial music with my new guitar on my computer today. Oh, cool. Cool. All right. So let's see if I can't figure out which screws go in these standoffs. Surely it's not the screws that have lock washers on them. That would be weird. 1, 2, 3. Let me see how many of those screws there are, because if there's like 4, 5, 6. I don't think those are the right screw. Alright, to help me identify which screw it is. Thomas Armstrong says, I can play music like I draw stick people. And we have Ron's computer videos. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, he's continuing my count. Actually, there were only 6 of those screws, so I don't think they went here. I bet they're for securing the drives. Okay, I think these are the ones for securing the backplane, because they appear to fit. So, now, if anyone's curious as to what the... Oh, hold on. Before I put this in, there are a few headers on this board. These two are marked for keyboard, but my single board computer doesn't use them. Because I think some do, but this one's got the keyboard and mouse on the bracket, so I don't need to use those. This is for fan power, so we're good there. I don't need to connect that to anything. This, I think, has to do with setting the PCI addresses. We'll just leave that alone because it looks like it's set to the default position. Okay, it looks like there's some resistor packs that are in SIP sockets, so I'll just leave those alone. That's ground and 12 volts, so I think we can leave that alone. And then I think this is the ATX power supply control connector. So actually, there is nothing on this backplane I need to configure. All right, Rudy. Thanks for stopping by for a little while. And we'll catch you later. All right, so let's go ahead and... because I think this connector is going to practically be under the power supply. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Okay, first I am going to clip the first sign that this is an industrial chassis, because instead of using a rubber band to secure all the cables, I used a zip tie. But I do need to separate these so I can actually try to cable manage. Capom says when the meds kick in, the fun starts. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Rudy. Don't know if anyone's heard from Javier. I think I saw from Frank S. this morning, so Frank's okay. And I know I've got a friend in Lakeland, and I saw an update from him this morning. So he's... parking lot of his condo, or his townhome, was flooded, but I think it was... other than I think he said a little water got in his front door, but that was pretty much it. Okay, so Will says Javier posted on Discord today. Gutbomb says, I think Javier's far enough south that he just got some wind and rain. Frank was on the southern edge. Got dicey, but did okay. Okay, yeah, Javier's in Miami. Okay. In fact, actually, I sold something on eBay this morning, and the person that bought it is in Lakeland, Florida. So... yep, oh, okay. Well, sometimes we had to do this back in the day to get these silly connectors to fit. There we go. Sometimes these power supply connectors have a really... okay, why is this not going on? Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, we got it. Oh, I think I'm about to remove the power supply. All right. Yeah, Gupum says he talked to Frank this morning and the weather had cleared out and it was nice. Whoop. And Gupum says Frank's damaged one window screen. Hey, Max says, surprised my sister in Fort Myers did not have it so bad at all. I was reading a storm update that was saying that I think I don't quite get hurricane mechanics, but I think it was trying to describe that the eye wall broke apart sooner than expected. Yeah, Thomas says one screen, not even insurance claim. Yeah. I mean, I don't get hurricane mechanics, but it was like somewhere I'd read that the eye wall broke up like fairly quicker than expected. I mean, obviously you still have a storm, but I don't know, someone that maybe knows more about hurricanes might be able to explain the significance of that. But okay, Will's saying, yeah, the shear ripped the southeast and southwest side of the storm apart. Thus, this made it not so strong with wind or rain in my sister's area. Yeah, I saw that was accompanying with a radar map, and it looked like yeah, the hurricane definitely didn't have its round shape. It was definitely a different shape. But yeah, oh, good to hear everyone's okay, and seems like so. Hopefully, as cleanup progresses and they get power on for folks and restore any utilities that are down, then we'll hear from more of them. AMAX says, but the north sides and center area was bad and serious. Yes, that is true. I do also remember seeing photos, and like Tropicana Stadium was pretty much, it didn't lose its entire roof, but it from the picture I saw, it looked like it had lost enough of its roof that it pretty much lost its roof. Like, it was enough of its roof was gone that it looked like it'd probably be easier to tear the rest of the roof off and replace the whole thing. But what do I know about replacing fiberglass roofs on baseball stadiums? Thomas says, I'm thinking we have line crews heading down. Yeah, I'm yeah, in fact I suspect our probably, if I looked at our electric co-op's Facebook page, they've probably sent some line crews down to Florida. If they didn't already have line crews down in Florida, they've probably sent some down there. Jesse's hi Jesse. Jesse says they'll likely get their new stadium now. Yeah, that is entirely possible that they may get a new stadium. Not sure that's necessarily how they wanted to get their new stadium, but Thomas Armstrong says, what stadium? Yeah, Will says they've been after a new stadium for years. Yeah, you're right. They have been. Yeah, yeah. We're talking about Tropicana Field, where the Tampa Bay uh, Rays play Major League Baseball. And Thomas says, Thomas says, I say build an ice rink. Jesse says, to be fair, it's kind of a dump. Uh, well, I could probably tell you this. Tropicana Stadium wasn't on my list of baseball stadiums to visit. Yeah, now that you all say it, it definitely won't surprise me if they try to take the roof getting ripped off as their reason for finally getting their baseball stadium they've been wanting for years. Watch the rationale will be, well, it's going to cost us this much to replace the roof, but only for basically effectively a few dollars more, we can have a whole new stadium built, complete with extra seats and a retractable roof that's rated for Category 6 hurricanes. And yeah, it's only going to be like a couple $1 billion more, but hey, it's worth it in the name of entertainment. Will Will says the area around it never took off as they expected, but I moved away from that area 26 plus years ago. Yeah, yep, I will not be surprised if they find a way to turn the roof getting ripped off into a new stadium. That will not surprise me now. Yeah, you all mentioning the fact they've been trying to get a new stadium reminded me that, yeah, they have been, and they were, yeah, they'll probably use it as a reason. Thomas, although Thomas, yes, is has a point. We will see if they get a committee to sort it out. Okay, if okay, maybe this is my cynicism over committees, but yeah, if they set up a committee to study the feasibility of building a new stadium as opposed to replacing the roof, then Tropicana Stadium is going to have a blue tarp over it for the next 10 years. Like a big, giant, baseball stadium sized blue tarp. Yeah, Jesse says it's complicated. Um, and I know that they all have sponsors for, like, it's Tropicana Field, Tropicana Orange Juice, and I'm sure they've got other sponsors. So I'm just wondering who their sponsor for this giant blue tarp will be. Would that be maybe an insurance company? I mean, if it was State Farm, it'd be a giant red tarp, but blue. Which insurance company's colors are blue and something? Geico, maybe a Geico tarp. Progressive insurance tarp. Joe says, I'm late. We went looking for Aurora. We failed. Well, hi, Joe. Welcome. Nationwide. There we go. Nationwide is on your side and on top of our field. Hey, there you go. You can have that jingle, Tampa Bay, because I don't want it. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be the nationwide tarp over Tropicana Field. Because the committee is still studying the feasibility of replacing the stadium instead of replacing the roof. The Gecko Field. K-Max says, seems the new stadium is already approved and to be built on the same site for 1.3 billion. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sadly. Well, if it's already approved, then somehow I'm going to approved back in 2023, Will says. Sabak says the other one I always think of is Minute Maid Stadium in Houston. All right, let's see if we can't get this single board computer straightened out. So this heatsink, the heatsink is fine. It's the fan is in need of dire replacement. Unfortunately, I do not know how you are supposed to remove these clips. Oh, there we go. You just have to bend it far enough. All right. I can't believe it. Actual vintage thermal paste on a socket 7. Thomas Armstrong says, push down and not sure what word he meant to type. Don't let it bite. Yeah. Someone actually put thermal paste on this thing. Unfortunately, the fan is like a bit of a hot mess. Let's see if we can get the fan off and do something about it. Alright, I'm just going to leave that there. I think I'm going to end up replacing this heatsink with this one because it's the shortest one I have, and because I don't know that I'm going to be able to rescue this fan. I think the fan is pretty much a goner, but let's see if I can get it off. Thomas Armstrong says, better than thermal glue, yes. Gupom's asking, is it a 200 mmx? I believe it is a... No, I do not think it's an MMX. Because I think if I remember, it said it was a P. It's a Pentium 200. It's a P54C. Might I be? Jeremy says the blue one is cooler. Yes, the blue one is cooler, but the blue one could obstruct an ISA card in the next slot over. Joe's like MMX. I think I might have a better processor for this single board computer. If I can find the jumper settings, which I'm pretty sure are on the RetroWeb. First, though, I need to see if I can get this fan off of here to see if I can't, like, rescue it. I'm pretty sure the fan is just simply pressed onto some aluminum pegs. But I'm not sure it was done in a way where they ever thought someone would be crazy enough to try to remove it. Joe says pin. Oh, a pin. Oh. Oh, okay, that's fine, Joe. Yeah, it went. I was checking Discord. Jeremy, I don't think I can. There are some fitment issues for this single board computer if I put it in the uppermost slot. Just because I'm going to play DOS games with this doesn't mean I want to preclude myself from ever putting a PCI card into it. And the power supply blocks one of the PCI slots. I don't want the single board computer to block the other one. I am going to mark on this heatsink where this piece comes out at, because I have a feeling I'm going to accidentally knock it out when I get the fan off. Anyways, I'm using the end of a... Jeremy says, now I remember what... Oh, yeah, remember what type of card and slot that is. Yeah, it's a PICMG. PCI... something manufacturers group. I think. Okay, I almost have it out. Needle nose pliers for the win. Yeah, PCI Industrial Computer Manufacturers Group. Yeah, I knew it was some acronym only a acronym nerd could enjoy. Yeah, it's an acronym with an acronym. PICMG. Yep. All right, so there we go. There's all the dust in that heatsink. I think Mike Tech would probably brush it into a paper towel, but I will just brush it onto my bench and then onto the floor and save the paper towel for something else. There we go. What do you know? Almost as good as new, except for that dust bunny in the corner. There we go. As good as new. And it's a good thing I marked where that went, because I did actually bump it out of place. All right. Let me set this to the side somewhere where if it gets thermal paste on it, it won't hurt it. Okay. This is a CPU cool fan, and surprisingly enough, the fan is actually not too dusty. However, it is definitely not moving right. I have a feeling there's probably dust in the... I'm going to take this kniff. I'm going to try to peel the the label back. Let's see if I can re-lubricate the fan. Alright, well, I was going to try to, like, keep the label, but whatever. Oh, hey, David, welcome! We have David Starbuck here. Oh, alright. No one's ever going to see the label anyways. I'll use Captain Tape to reseal it. Alright. Well, if I can find the... There we go. Oh, not even a... like a rubber stopper on the bearing. Right there it is. Alright, well, let's take the... There we go. Machine oil I have. And let's put like a drop or two of oil in here. And we'll go for 3 drops. I want this fan to be moving better than something that moves smoothly. At 4 a.m. Whoa, Francois. A riddle wrapped in an enigma. Oh. Oh, Jeremy's like, yeah, an acronym within an acronym like ARM originally meant Acorn Risk Machine. A riddle wrapped in an enigma, yeah. Or then there is the acronym GNU, which means, or at least I've heard, stands for GNU's not Unix. But wait a minute. You just put the acronym inside of its own acronym. Yeah, David. That probably would be a good analogy. I was thinking of some of the commercials that play during shows, certain shows like The Price is Right, for the products they advertise to um, help you out for various physical ailments. All right, I am going to at least make the Captain tape look somewhat more presentable, as in you won't be able to see it from the top that I just kind of put a huge piece on. There we go. And now I'm tempted to find a way. Oh no. We have a brittle plastic emergency now. Did you see that? It just like broke. Yeah, that's not good. Well, that's all right. Well, I guess we're using the well, Joe says glue time. Yeah, I guess I can try to glue it, but we might be using the blue heatsink. Something tells me the fan on this heatsink was brittle due to heat in a industrial PC. Let's see if I even got the fan spinning with lubrication, because when I tried to test this the other day, the fan wouldn't even spin, and in fact, it's not even really spinning now. David Starbucks says, time for hot glue or duct tape. That's not really spinning. Let's see if I can't plug this in to something. Do I? All right, hold please. I'm trying to find my hard drive power adapter. There we go. There it is. All right, there's at least one end of it. And the other end is... Oh, I think right there. And... well, look at that. It's spinning. And moving quite not a lot of air. Wow. Look at those electromagnets. I don't know how well the noise is getting picked up. It's not. Oh, probably my filters. Let's see if I can turn the filters off momentarily to give you all a hint of what it sounds like. It's not too bad. I don't even know if it's getting picked up. All right. Okay, well, let's see if I can put the fan back together because it at least has the benefit of being low enough profile that it won't block anything. And then while I let the glue dry enough to put it back together, I'll clean up thermal paste. Because at least the one good thing is it looks like it broke cleanly. Alright, so it looks like I might be able to glue it back together. Let's see if I can. I mean, worst comes to worst, it doesn't glue back together, and I have to use a fan that's not brittle from heat. I do get it back together, and I mean, I might have cracked it removing the fan. Honestly, it may be damage from that and not excess heat. And my tube of super glue is. I think I super glued the lid onto it. Well, that's. Okay, that's not super helpful. All right. Oh. All right. Okay, well, looks like I got that glued on. Also, looks like I'll be buying another tube of super glue because I can't get the lid back on. Probably because I. Oh, I bet I deformed it removing it. Oh, let me go. Ah. Joe says, I'm using. Thomas says I use glue, like Javier works with 12 volts. David Starbucks says, JP Weld and some cuss words will fix anything. I don't have any JB Weld. Oh, David says, hook it up to your bench supply, give it 12 volts at 5 amps, let it spin. Let's see here. Stuck to anything. I think I did get it stuck together and almost to my glove, too. Yes, pro tip, wear gloves when we're working with super glue. Then you stick your glove to the item and not your hand. Alright, I am going to... Alright, not do that. Alright. Well, I'm going to let that glue cure just a little bit. And in the meantime, let's see if I can't get the old thermal paste off of this heatsink. Thomas Armstrong says, play with baking soda first. I don't have any... Well, I'm not sure where my baking soda is. Alright, this thermal grease is rated awful. Yeah, that thermal grease is rock hard. Someone look up the instructions for, I think, Arctic MX4 and see what it says about applying to a socket 7 processor. Does it say you need to use the X method or the dot method or the apply it like you're making a sandwich method? I'm curious. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Arctic's response. You're using this on a what? Hey, Kibbs with Retro, welcome! Joe says, it's a socket 7, dude, just put some on. David says, just slather it on. Alright, we'll see you later, Francois. Joe says, pea-sized blob in the center, drop the heatsink on, you're good to go. Yeah. That's what I figured. But you know the keyboard commandos, though, will obviously have their opinion on socket 7 thermal pasting, to which I say, fine, you do your own live stream, you apply it your way, and tell me how it goes. And then hopefully the people criticize their application method like they criticized mine. Joe says I could probably use peanut butter. Yeah. Use the rhythm method. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We have an i200. After all, I did see the video that Linus Tech Tips put out today where they were trying all the things that people have wondered but never wanted to try on their own system. And they actually put, I don't know how much thermal paste in the socket, and their board still posted. Don't try that at home. Kib says, grabs a 5-gallon tube of MX4. Now this should be enough. Puts the whole thing on it. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to do a tiny little upgrade here. Let's see, there's one of them. And I think that's the other one. No, that is not the other one. That is something completely different. Joe says, waiting for him to drop a water block on it. Oh, okay. That's not it. Hold, please. I'm looking for the... I bought 2 CPUs from Gut Bomb, and I'm looking for the case the second one is in. Although, maybe I should actually look at the label of the first one I pulled out, because maybe it's the one I'm looking for. Oh. That'll work. Okay. Then that means I only have to figure out how to change the voltage. Alright, I found the 200, the MMX 200 I bought from Gut Bomb. We'll start with that one. Because to put that one on... Oh, man. Gut Bomb said, I forgot I sold you those. As soon as I sold those to you, I realized I needed one, so I bought another 200 MMX. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, don't you hate it when you do that? I've done that before, too. Like, sold something and then realized I needed it. I feel your pain there. Yeah, Kib says, I see the Dallas RTC module in there. Hope it's not one of those boards that don't save anything with a dead one. Kibs, there is something amazing about this benchmark real-time clock module. Despite the fact that it has a 1997 date code on it, it still has battery voltage. Seriously, you don't get a low battery warning on this board. It still has power. Because we were joking on the live stream where I last pulled this out that it was probably running a car wash the week before. Because seriously, I think whatever this was controlling, this might have been pulled out of service recently and it was running up until it got replaced. Or at least long enough that this didn't have to power the battery backup with the module. It is also possible Benchmark used a larger battery. Kib says, not possible. My oscilloscope has 2 battery-backed SRAM modules in it from the 90s, and they still have battery power. Joe says there was a period of time where the wrench nub from the end of a PVC sewer pipe cap was the same size as the heat spreader core on an Athlon 64. You could glue it onto the core. David says, water-cooled Pentium, don't threaten me with a good time. Oh, Joe says, continues, thread in some pipes and a pump and water cool it. And Jesse says, could it be the battery was made on the planet Krypton? Kim says, keep it plugged in, then they shouldn't die then. Yeah, apparently so. Alright, let me clean off the heatsink compound on this Pentium. This is a Pentium MMX 200. Because actually, I think I just realized the 233, I may have already put it in a motherboard. So, we're just gonna... We'll keep this at a Pentium 200 for now. I can always... Oh, actually, no, that's right. There was a second processor I wanted to try on this, if it works. And it wasn't an Intel, so we'll go with the Intel 200. And then that'll let me look up the jumpers for this board to set it to split voltage. Because the processor that's in it now is a P54C, so it's single. Jeremy's asking, would that single board computer support a 266? I don't know. It's an HX chipset. Which, actually, I think in a previous stream, or maybe on somewhere, it might have been Dave's stream, I was saying that if I had to name a chipset that was like just a reliable chipset, that I'd probably say the Intel TX. I forgot about the Intel HX chipset. It's probably close in line with the TX. Now, the thing about the HX chipset, because I think it may have been, it's a higher end chipset. It actually supports up to 512 megabytes of RAM, which would have been an incredible amount of RAM back then. Now, I don't know if this board supports 512 megabytes. The chipset does. And if you have enough tag RAM, it can cache all 512 megabytes. It was actually quite a... let's see here. Is this... Which one is this? I'm trying to find the board, and I'm looking up the chipset, and I believe this is the PCS set. Oh, yeah, it's the PCS set. HX Triton 2. The other choice is the EISA. Let's see. The form factor is going to be single board computer. I have been meaning to email the RetroWeb and see if they could maybe add a category of maybe form factor of PICMG to make it easier to find the PICMG single board computers. Kib says, time to bodge 512 megs onto it. If I only had enough... If I had the right memory, I would. David says, Hurricane Milton has scurried off into the Atlantic. It got loud last night, but no worries here. That's good to hear, David. Good to hear that. All right. I think... I do remember seeing this board on the RetroWeb. It is the... Was there any... I'm looking for a hint. For Sims... Hold please, I'm looking for a model number or something. No, of course. Why would we put a model number on our single board computer? It's going to stay in a box forever, and yeah, I guess that's what they thought. There's no brand on it. All right, let me start looking at... All right, let me just scroll the photos. Because I know it's a single socket. And... Actually, that one might be it right there. Yep. Got the HX 2 SRAMs. There's the tag RAM. There's the Adaptec SCSI, the other Intel chip. ATI video. Oh, this one, the photo they've got's a Dallas chip. Got SCSI on it. I think that one's it. It's a PCI A54UW from Macrotech. Supports Pentium 7 processors up to 200 megahertz. That might be because it was released before 233s, maybe? Supports up to 256 megabytes of fast page or EDO RAM. Got 512 kilobytes of pipeline burst SRAM. It's got an Adaptec AIC 7880. Supports fast SCSI 2 and ultra-wide SCSI. And dual IDE and onboard I/O. It's got the benchmark BQ3287 AMT and CMOS with 10 years lithium backup battery. ATI Mach64 graphics. Yeah, this must be it. And no jumper settings. Okay. Oh, that's inconvenient. hold on. Let me see. I sure thought I found this board and... Alright, let me see if there's any others that look like it. I sure thought there were jumper settings, but I could be wrong. I look at a lot of boards just to see if they might have some cool feature, and... Alright, well... Okay, let's see if I can't figure the jumpers out without a guide. Otherwise, we're just going to leave the 200 mmx in there. No. Oh, here we go. There's a silkscreen on the back. I knew I'd seen jumper settings somewhere. Okay, so that's Watchdog period, Watchdog, BIOS, ROM. Oh, it looks like you can, it might be to prevent from being able to write it. Real-time clock clear. There's the bus clock. Okay, so here's CPU VCC. Standard/VR and VER are the choices. That was J4 and J5. Let me see what it's set to now. Because there is definitely a regulator on this board. JP4, JP5. All right. Let me see if I can do a search and maybe find more information on this board. Nope, that's not close enough. Okay. Oh, that's one of those scammy places that'll sell it. Okay, don't want to go there. Okay, Firefox, you can stop searching. Oh, well, I found a Macrotech Incorporated. But I don't think they make single board computers. Or they don't make them any longer if that's the same company. They make, oh, scrubbers for, yeah, dent stacks. Yeah, I don't think that's the same company. All right. Okay, I found another board by Macrotech. It has a similar part number on the RetroWeb. I'm looking to see if it has jumper settings that maybe might mention something to help me set the jumper for the regulator And that is a negative. ESMcomputer.d. Oh! Well, that came from the Wayback Machine. www.macrotech.com.tw. I wonder if they're still in business. And that would be a negative. All right. Is archive.org up? That would be a negative. A big negative. They are not up. Ugh. Yeah, I think they got officially they say they're having a distributed denial of service attack. However, I think the Have I Been Pwned website shows that people who have archive.org accounts are, well, they're showing up when you search your email on that website. So you could put two and two together. Yeah, so it looks like I am. Oh, hey, 1bit. It's asking, did someone say play DOS games? Yes! If I can find the jumper settings for this single board computer so we can have MMX. Unfortunately, the RetroWeb does not have jumper settings, and archive.org is down. So I can't look to see if they archived the manufacturer's website to see if there's anything else. So we may just have to leave this with the same processor because I cannot figure out what the jumper settings is. The labeling on the back of the board is actually really good until it gets to the setting for the regulator, and then it's not clearly marked at all. It's just a bunch of gobbledygook. And I mean, I would think that maybe I just changed the jumper to the other setting, but oh, hey, Tech Ambrosia, welcome. Tech Ambrosia's got a good suggestion. When I can't find a board's manual, I'll look up the datasheet for the voltage regulator chip. There will be pinouts that translate to jumper settings. That is a very good suggestion. Alright, let me see if I can find the voltage regulator chip one. Oh. Alright. Let's see here. Is that going to be it there? A W48C60A-414G? Is that a voltage regulator? Because that's a tagram. So that's not it. These three are Dallas chips. So those aren't them. There's the pipeline burst cache. Oh, SCSI. Unless this board simply... BCE. Okay, well that's a... that's a transistor. Base collector and emitter. Okay. Okay, well that must be the voltage. 59. Oh, that's interesting. I think there's a negative 3.3 volt regulator on this board. That's neat. That's not going to be for process. Okay, it must be that chip right there. Oh, Amber. Okay, Amber says that's probably the clock chip. Okay. Wait a minute. Are they just maybe dropping voltage with a giant diode? I mean, that would take. I mean, no, no. There's gonna be something I've overlooked. Okay, well that's a tagram. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's try a slightly more reasonable approach. So it's JP4 and JP5 that control voltage, I believe. Those are these two jumpers here. Those jumpers are connected to these two resistors here. And I see that they got a via that goes to another layer. Do those by chance go to they go to an inner layer? Because right there, I see the two vias like right there. They're going to an inner layer. I bet those are going to ground actually. Okay. So wait a minute. JP6. Oh, is JP6 setting the regulator type? JP6 is open. There's no jumper there. So that's going to be an LP2951. All right. Let me look that data sheet up. Because I bet they're LP2951. LP2951. I don't see that chip, but that's not to say it's not there. LP2951 is a 100 milliamp 30 volt low dropout voltage regulator. No, that's not for. No, that's not for the CPU voltage regulator. That can't be. That's way too little. That's not enough current for a CPU. All right, what is this? What is this regulator for? LP2951. Do I see an LP2951, which is a Texas Instruments chip? Actually, I think that's it there. All right, hold on. Let me see if this is it. I have a feeling I know what this board might be doing. If that's there it is, the cute little chip on the back of the board. It's like a 100 milliamp regulator. It's right there. Is that controlling this transistor on the other side of the board? Okay, there has got to be. I think there is a switching power supply controller somewhere on this board. And it's a matter of finding it, and then I'll probably know what those two jumpers do. If I can find the controller, I can see which pin of the controller each of those two jumpers goes to. Let's see, 74HC. Okay, well that's not it. I'm just looking at all the little chips on the back of the board because I think the switching power supply controller is probably a small chip because I'm thinking it might only support 2 voltages. 93LC46B. I don't think that's it. Okay, I don't think it's on the 93C 46B. That looks... It's not under the processor, is it? Did I... No. Okay, that would be too easy. I honestly could not tell you where the CPU voltage regulator is, because I don't see a chip that... I don't see a chip that looks like it. I know one of these has to be it. Unless this board really only does P54C. Thomas Armstrong says it could be the reference voltage for a bigger transistor. Heck Ambrose is asking, what's the MOSFET with the big heatsink on it? It is a D45H2A. National Semiconductor. I mean, it looks, it's a good question. D45H2A. PNP power amplifier. It looks like it's a PNP. Looks like it's a PNP power amplifier. It's used devices designed for power amplifier, regulator, and switching circuits where speed is important. Well, that probably is in the CPU voltage regulation circuit. I just couldn't tell you which chip is controlling it. Unless that... No, okay, that is Tagram. The chip here is definitely Tagram. Along with the chip directly behind it on the other side. So that's definitely Tagram. Let me check the chip we thought was a clock controller. I'm pretty sure it is. As many resistors are going to it. And I think it is near the jumpers for setting the clock speed. But let me just double check that's not like maybe a dual clock synth and voltage regulator, like a combo chip or something. It's a 48C 60A. Exfid 41414G. All right. It's a clock generator chip. But I forgot to type the magic words in my search. Data sheet. Oh no. I'm not finding the data sheet for it. It may just be a clock. All right, let me get rid of the hyphenated text. That might not. 48. Come on. I can't find the data sheet for it. I think. Oh, hey Eric, welcome. No, David. I'm trying to put an MMX processor on it, but unfortunately, I can't figure out where the... I can't put an MMX processor on it if I can't figure out where the voltage, how to change the voltage setting. Okay, so JP1 and JP2 have to do with the CPU bus clock. Let me just see if I see any jumpers that don't have a setting on the back. JP3 is not. Oh, JP3 is not labeled on the back. JP3. David, I would destroy an MMX processor if I don't set the voltage to the lower setting. The thing is, the Pentium 200 that's on here is a single voltage processor. The MMX is a dual voltage processor, and I only have one 200 MMX. That's why I'm trying to find the jumper setting that apparently doesn't exist. I mean, I guess, let's see, how long have I spent trying to put a processor in and not finding jumper? Oh, well, alright, I guess we'll just skip putting an MMX processor in it, because I can't find the jumper settings, so I guess I'll have to not put an MMX processor in it. Because not only can I not find the jumper settings, or decipher what they mean by standard / VR and VRE on the back of the board. Or no, VER. Okay, there's one other thing I can think of. CPU, VCC. Alright, VER. I know, David. And I'm Mr. I will take everything literally. Alright, let's try one other web search here. Let me go to Google, the search engine I don't normally search with. Alright. Oh, that's interesting. Google's being just as unhelpful as DuckDuckGo. Alright. Oh, well, there's a website saying that some parts are end of life. Alright, let's see if maybe some of these sites actually sold it and might have them. Oh, well, Bitdefender's saying that page is suspicious. We're not going to go there. Alright. What was this? It was PCI A54UW. Let's learn more. Services. Nope. Okay. Well, that website's probably not going to help me because I didn't buy the board from them. They don't have manuals online, so oh, here's a random Chinese site that might have one of these boards for sale. Yeah, they do. That's weird. Well, that's really weird. Okay, that's not going to help. Okay, I guess David says Jeremy says this seems like a job for a socket blaster device to provide the dual voltage requirements. There is no we run into slot conflict issues if we make the CPU taller, which is why I've kind of tried to resist it. Thomas says they did make an old 233 MMX with the overdrive line. Well, I don't want to put an overdrive in here. Tech Amber saying this uses 430HX and dual voltage support was not mandatory with that chipset. Well, that might. Well, I guess the 230. Well, then maybe that's. Well, I guess maybe that's why we can't find the jumper settings. Is because maybe they don't. Okay, that is really, really weird. Oh. Hold please while I try to figure out how this thing went back together. Because apparently I got something mixed up when I took the heatsink apart and alright. Okay, so we put if that goes under there. And no, yeah, there's yes, that is ultra scuzzy. I don't have a way to test it, but yes, it is that is ultra scuzzy. How in the world did I mess up? So I marked this as to where this bar went, and I clearly have the marks there and well there, although unfortunately my mark's less visible, which would seem to indicate that this goes like this, which makes no sense. I have apparently. Oh no! Wait a minute. That goes on the big plastic retaining clip. Okay, that okay. That makes sense now. I see. I see what they did. Other than okay, yeah. All right. I'm putting the fan together. We're gonna just send it. All right. Can I put the fan back on here without the plastic breaking? That is the question. As in, will my glue hold? No. The glue broke. Ah. And I broke it even more. Great. Alright, well, I'm not going to be able to use this heatsink because, oh man, it's disintegrating. Alright. Well, that was probably going to fall apart sooner rather than later anyways. I'll take that as the consolation prize. Unfortunately, that is not salvageable. Alright. I will have to use this one. It is the lowest profile heatsink I have. And we'll go with this for tonight. And no, I'm not going to put thermal paste on it because great. No, that heatsink is not going to fit. The capacitor is in the way. Great. And no, I can't bend it out of the way because there's another capacitor in the way. Kib says just slap a 486 heatsink on there. Well, that doesn't exactly work. The tantalum capacitor's in the way. I can't use that clip. The tantalum's in the way. And I can't push the tantalum out of the way because of the electrolytic capacitor beside it. Alright, I've got a heatsink here somewhere that twists onto the processor. Hold a minute while I find it. Theoretically, I have more than one, but just gotta remember where. All I have to do is remember where one of them is. David says just massage it a bit. The pins on the electrolytic cap are in the wrong direction. I can't push it. I can't push this electrolytic cap this way because the pins are in the way where I can push it that way. I can't. Tech Amber says it dissipates 16 watts of heat. I'm sure you can find something that'll work. I just have to remember where I put it. So hold a moment while I try to remember where I've got it. I know I've got a. Okay, that one's got a clip that's even bigger than the one I'm trying to use. So that one won't work. I mean, if it really came, I don't want. Kibbs is asking if I could desolder it and put the capacitor on the back. You know how many layers this board is? I would have to put an insane amount of heat on it to actually get that capacitor off, because this is probably a 6-layer board. Easy. A 6-layer board. I definitely know it's going to have to be more than 4 layers. As much stuff that's on it. I'm pretty sure this is a 6-layer board minimum. And it would not shock me if it were an 8-layer board. That would not shock me. In fact, even if someone told me it was a 10-layer board, that would not shock me. Well, okay, it might surprise me, but I wouldn't be, like, totally shocked. 10 layers is a lot of layers. That's probably a 6 to 8-layer board. Alright, I know I've got a heatsink around here somewhere. Hold please while I find it. Well, there's one with a processor that... Oh, well, that's neat. Well, maybe I might use... Maybe I'll use thermal... no, I can't use thermal paste to hold it on. Because I have to put it vertically. Or... Yeah. Alright. I'm looking for the heatsink. Continue to hold for the next available live. Going to call momentarily. One of other board in the box. Oh. Oh. Motherboard's part 2. Alright. Let's see here. Nope. That's socket 3. That heatsink won't fit. That. That one. That's Pentium 2. Nope, that's Pentium 3. Alright. Well, I don't think I've got the heatsink I thought I did. Oh, Tech Amber saying stick the original one. The problem is the fan holds the clip in place, and I broke the fan. The fan cracked in a way where there's nothing to. Well, actually, maybe I can get it to. Maybe there is enough to hold it on. All right. Maybe there is just enough that I can hold it in place. I don't have. No, we're not using thermal glue. I'm not gluing the heatsink to the processor. Well, yeah, now it's bugging me that I got a piece of the fan stuck to the heatsink, so I'm going to unstick it. There we go. If the fan wasn't good enough to stay on, the fan's not good enough to go back on. All right. I think there's a fan in the enclosure. I'll find a random fan. I thought I had one of those heat sinks that like screw onto the processor. I can't find it. At least not for socket 5, 7, which tells me that it's probably a socket 3 heatsink that I have. All right. So I think this goes here. And that goes in there and out here. Okay. Fortunately, without the fan, this. I know I marked this thing. I just. Okay. Come on. Twist under there. I know you want to. Alright. I do not know why. I marked where this metal thing went, and now that I'm trying to put it back where I marked it, it does not want to go. I'm wondering if it slipped out of place when I removed it. I don't know if this is going to stay in place or not. I don't think I got the bar in the right place. That does not feel right at all. It's just a spring clip. I I don't have any 200 centimeter fans. Oh, or 20 centimeter fan. I don't have any 20 centimeter fans either. Tech Amber says it's a spring clip. It doesn't need to go in the same way. Okay. Well, I'm still trying to get it to like clip some way where it actually wants to clip, even if it's not the same as it was. And I'm having trouble getting it to clip. It doesn't want to clip. So I know it's out of frame, but I'm having trouble getting it to clip in frame, and I'm still having trouble getting it to clip out of frame. It does not want to clip. Problem is the sport. I don't want to spend the next 30 minutes looking for adapters for fans. That's the problem. And I know I know I've got fans. I know I've got adapters for them. The problem is I don't want to. I was not expecting to have this much trouble with this board, so I did not like go find them last night. And seriously, I think I bent the spring clip or something. Come on. I'll use some needle nose to help. There we go. Okay, I got it. I think it's on there. It's on there. I don't know that I would trust it to ship it like that, but I got it on there. Alright, now that I have practically taken way more time than I wanted to try to install a processor, and it turns out that I can't even install the processor in here because well, I guess people that look for $30 single board computers on eBay can't exactly always find the $30 single board computer that not only is $30 but also has dual voltage support, and my golly, the yeah, Tech Amber says there's one on eBay right now. It's $850. Yeah, I know. I'm an automation engineer. I've seen the prices of some of these. I won't be paying that much for stuff for the channel. Let's just say that. I'll have to buy it used when it becomes vintage. I mean, this board, this very well could have been like a, I don't know, $1,000 single board computer when it was new. Possibly 2,000. I'm running into another problem. It's like okay. I don't think it's getting caught up on the RAM. I'm having trouble telling what it's getting caught on, but it's caught on something. I mean, I'm pretty sure this card should fit. I think it's the standard full length. Getting caught on something. There we go. If at first it doesn't fit, remove and reinsert. There we go. All right. There we go. I think it's in. I think the first time it might have been catching on the card guide slot. Yes. Somehow, just barely. It's in. All right. Before I do too much more, seeing as how it. All right. Let's see if the thing even powers up. before I bother to go any further. All right, smoke test in 3, 2, 1. All right, at least I haven't managed to completely destroy it. Yes, it's a cool CPU. I mean, there is a fan in the front of the case, and it is on. I haven't plugged the keyboard in. Jeremy says a good replacement cooler would be a 1U S370 cooler for a 1U server. Are Socket 370 coolers really compatible with Socket 7? I cannot find a definitive answer for that anywhere. Jeremy says okay. Well, Jeremy, the problem is the capacitor is in the way of the clip, and no, Kib suggested mounting it on the back of the card, but no, then it would actually not fit because of the... It would not fit because of the lip. I wouldn't be able to put the card in. So no, I can't move those capacitors to the back. I'm not sure I would be able to get a Socket 370 cooler on because of the clip issue. Capacitors are in the way of the clip. I think I just need to find a twist-on cooler. It's the same footprint, Jeremy says, but I didn't think... I thought... I guess maybe they are the same. It's the CPU... The height from the CPU is my concern. I thought Socket 370 was... shorter, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Okay, well, it powered up 11:15, and I'm only now just powering it up in the backplane. I really would like to get a different cooler on that, but I can't. The capacitors are in the way, and those are Sanyo branded caps. Those probably are decent caps, so I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I've got any fans that I can blow on that, because the front fan is not... Due to where the RAM is, the front fan's not getting a lot of air on that, but there's no fan headers on the board. All right, let me see if I can... What's the chances that this... Oh, well, I've got an Octo fan new in the box. I don't know what I bought it for, but probably to replace the fan in a Macintosh that's got a bad fan or something. I don't know. Well, I guess I've got a fan I can point at the CPU. And luckily, since I saw the box, I guess I realized I do have a power adapter, so I can actually plug it in. Isn't that StarTech fan out of production? Or that StarTech cooler out of production? There was something I was looking at that was StarTech that I discovered was actually out of production, even though some sellers claim to have it. It was like out of production because that's their EU site, I believe. I'm going to reject cookies from their EU site. Well, yeah, that would be the fan. And that fan is discontinued. Discontinued. That means I'll have to buy it on eBay. I think I see what Jeremy's trying to get me to do here. He's trying to get me to buy yet another potential eBay regret. No way that RS Components still has that fan. Oh, I could buy it from Amazon. What do you know? Sellers claiming to sell a StarTech fan. RS Online. Oh, they want to make sure it is me and not a robot. I'm curious. Product discontinued. Out of stock. It was a $30 fan? Wow. Oh, look at that. Well. Oh, I could buy it on Amazon, but it's not the same fan. It's not actually copper. $10 plus $9 shipping. Yeah, no. Probably not actually a StarTech fan. Whoop, there's the actual fan. No stock, no stock. Yeah. Bummer. And then I go back to the chat, and Jeremy has found it on eBay for me. Oh, that's not the StarTech fan, and that has an even wider clip on it than the StarTech fan. Alright, I'll probably end up buying one of these 1U server fans because there is a distinct possibility to get the clip on. I'm going to have to desolder at least the electrolytic capacitor, put the clip on, and then resolder the capacitor. So I guess if I'm going to go through that trouble, I might as well buy a copper cooler. Alright. We've got to knock to a fan to point air at the CPU fan. That is obviously a temporary solution until I can find a more permanent heatsink. Actually, I just realized if I do find my socket 7 CPU twist-on cooler, I think I may need to get a 200 megahertz ceramic Intel Pentium processor, which I think those are kind of rare, because I don't think the clip-on one will actually work with the whatever the fiberglass substrate ones. Jeremy says, pro tip, the coolers for socket 7, 370, and A all share the same footprint. Yeah. Okay. Footprint, yes, but there's the height from the top of the heat spreader or die to the heat sink, and I guess maybe that's the same, even though I sure thought that socket A and socket 370 had less height because they're bare. This is the bare die on the substrate, but I could be wrong. I haven't actually gone to measure it. Maybe the socket's actually a little taller to make up for it. I don't know. Yeah, it's cooling. Alright. So we got cooling. We got video. I moved all my keyboards while looking for expansion cards this past weekend, so... yeah, I guess I gotta go find where I put my PS2 keyboard. Okay, I see where it is. Okay, so I need a PS2 keyboard, and I need a boot drive. Epom is correct about the height. Oh, I am correct about the height thing. Okay. I thought there was a height difference. I know there are some coolers that actually work with multiples. Which tells me there had to be some height difference somewhere, but or different. I don't know what I'm talking about. The thing is, I built so many Socket 7 systems back in the late 90s. It's like I am so used to how that all stacks up, but the number of Socket 370 systems I built back in the 90s, early 2000s, I think it was 0. The computer shop I worked at, we didn't really. I don't think we really had any clients that really wanted Socket 370. It might also be because we probably sold more AMD than Intel. Oh, I guess the other reason was I went to college. So I'm trying to remember which is the keyboard and which is the mouse port. Okay, the keyboard port's the bottom one. All right. Well, Jeremy says, just for testing in a pinch, I did run a Socket 7 cooler on an AMD Duron to see if it would post once. Well, that's definitely an in a pinch solution there because that was AMD's era of you'd better have a cooler on this thing at all times because it has no thermal protections built in. In fact, sometimes I think those processors had negative, like, anti-thermal protections inside. Maybe antimatter inside. I don't know. All right, so we're in the BIOS. Oh yeah, Kibbs. Notice the clock is correct. I didn't even have to set it. They're mostly correct. It looks like it is like. Oh. Okay, now it's 3 hours off, which would account for the time zone I bought it from. Plus, it's like another 25 minutes off, but that's the same offset that it was, or it's 2 hours off, which accounts for the time zone that I bought it in, and then another like 25 minutes off, but that's about how far off it was last week. I didn't actually set the clock then. So couldn't the clip be arranged in a manner where the part you clip onto the socket is at the rear of the single board computer? I have no idea what you're trying to describe, Jeremy. The way socket 7 goes on, you're supposed to clip the back on the back side of the socket on the short side, and then this is supposed to be the one that you press, that you actually attach second. It's the way I've always done it. It's the way I learned. I don't know. I've never dared to try to put one on backwards, but we still have a clip fitment issue potentially. Yeah, now you see that pesky capacitor. Yes. that electrolytic is preventing me from pushing the tantalum capacitor that you can't see because the electrolytic's like completely blocking it, but trust me, there isn't a tantalum the tantalum is blocking the clip, but I can't push the tantalum out of the way because the electrolytic is touching the tantalum capacitor. I don't know exactly how they. Apparently, they intended you to use this industrial single board computer with a really cheap cooler, which is beyond indefensible, if you ask me. Do you really want your industrial process to potentially go down while you buy a new heatsink because you use a janky cooler like this? No. No, you don't. Yes, I'm an industrial controls engineer, so I could tell you that no, that is not an optimal cooling solution. You don't want that. All right, industrial controls engineer hat back off. I'll get off my reliability soapbox. All right, let me. I didn't change anything, but let me do that. Yeah, Jeremy says cost cutting at its finest. Yes. Yeah, not only did they expect you to use a really cheap heatsink, but they didn't leave them a little bit extra room to be able to move the capacitors over. Like, in fact, I think all they really needed to do was move the capacitors over like 2 millimeters. We're talking about a very small extra distance that's really needed to be able to actually clip a heatsink on without having to go through physical and mental gymnastics to do so. Like 2 millimeters. Because I think that would have given enough room to actually finagle a heatsink clip on it. Sadmax says, I'm taking a cybersecurity class, and we touched on how that's something you don't want as well. Yeah. Yes, not only do you want to make sure your networks are secure and that you aren't like opening yourself up to a cyber attack. Yeah, you don't want your controller to like have another vulnerability. Yeah, because it's in fact quite possible, depending on what it's controlling, its outage could give someone an opening to do something you don't want them to. Oh wait, I gotta supply this adapter with power. It would probably be happier if I actually give it some electricity. There, now this adapter will probably actually work. It should have an OS on it. There we go. Yes, this little bit of jank right here is brought to you by inspiration from the Big Bad Biologist and Action Retro. I'll let you guess which part is which. Although technically, I think I need to put a zip tie somewhere to hold that in place to complete the jank, but whatever. All right, let's see if we boot into DOS. I don't remember which compact flash card this is right off. I'm using compact flash because I need to be able to copy files onto it, and this is the easiest way. Oh, we got Miss DOS. That means... Ah, yes! This is a compact flash card that I set up for an XT class computer. Yeah, Yes, MX says at best it'd be inconvenient. At worst, it was controlling something potentially safety critical, and we don't necessarily know. Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is not the SD card, or this is not the compact flash card I want to use. I don't want to use that compact flash card because I drew a question mark on it last time. Do I not have... Alright. There was... Oh, I wish I had a wide SCSI cable, because I actually have the perfect drive for this computer if I wanted to use a SCSI drive, but I don't have the complete cable for it. I have the end of the connector, but actually I have a 9 gigabyte SCSI wide SCSI drive. Granted, it was pulled out of a Mac, but I don't have a Mac that could use wide SCSI, so... But I don't have a cable for it, so I can't use that. I'm trying to find... I actually had a mechanical hard drive set aside for this computer, and I sure thought I left it. Okay, apparently I put it away, even though I knew I would be doing this live stream. I apparently put the drive away. Ah. Silly past me for... Yes, Oh, wait. Is that it right there? That might be it right there. Oh, here it is. I think this... No, that way. No, that's not the drive. No, hold please. I have a Seagate Barracuda drive. I set it aside specifically for this computer. Means I need to find a GoTech so I can install DOS. Yes, we're going to just go ahead and spin up a hard drive for this computer. If I can find it. There it is. Alright. Hold please, I'm trying to find the 8010. I got an 8010 IDE cable. Because we need it for this drive. Oh, wait. Oh, there's one in this box. Pretty sure there's one in this box. Oh, there was one in that box. I have... Alright. And turn that off. So I have a Seagate Barracuda. It is an IDE drive, but I picked it because it's one of the ones that has the shield on the bottom, so I kind of thought that felt sort of industrial. I mean, I might be kind of pushing things slightly, but anyways... Let's see. Alright, so I got the jumper set. I need a different IDE cable because we want speed. I also need to find my GoTech, which is hiding. Alright, while I find the cable that I know I had, I think I had it during Dave's stream because I realized the device I was trying to plug into it did not have the proper keying for the cable I have. But I think this single board computer does not have the proper keying for the cable that I'm looking for. So, all right, let me go to my box of cables. One of them has the proper keying. No. Nope. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So the problem with this single board computer is that it does not have a the pin missing for. There's like a pin that's sometimes missing on drives, and it's actually the pin is present on the single board computer. And given how late it is, I don't want to try to like remove the pin because it'd be my luck I'd remove the wrong pin. So there we go. So we got the hard drive plugged into a cable, and now I need the GoTech so we can actually boot an operating system installer. And I gotta. See, this is why I don't like cleaning my workbench, because then I like put things away and then I waste time looking for them later. So I guess this teaches me a lesson yet again. Don't clean my workbench. Just leave it messy, then I'd be able to find everything. That's actually not entirely true. I still lose things even when I don't put it away. Thanks for joining my well, we can't call it a TED Talk, that's trademarked. My Commodore TED Talk. There we go. Oh, I guess technically that's trademarked too. Oh well, never mind. Actually, the funny thing is, I think I have two GoTechs floating around, and I can't. And I've probably misplaced them both. Don't. No worries, Jeremy. You don't have to divulge the details here. All right. However, if you know where I put my GoTech, you can divulge the location of that. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I've misplaced it. Oh, because the GoTech I'm looking for probably has the thumb drive in it. But it'll work for it'll work for now. Oh, hey, Mikey. Welcome. Yeah, always. All right. Okay. Now the only problem is I gotta find a thumb drive with disk images on it, but, well, at least I can power the system up and see if everything's detected. All right. All right, there's that. BIOS features. AC SCSI. All right, that should work. Chipset features. Yeah, I think all that's... Oh, is there actually parity RAM in here? I didn't think there was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting. Oh, but it's on auto. Okay, it must be able to tell that there's no parity RAM and it's not using it. Okay, Alright, I think that all looks good. Save and exit setup. Alright, let's see if by chance I've got one of the USB drives for the GoTech, like sitting around here, maybe? I don't know. Oh, I think I just found one of my Pentium heat sinks that was attached by thermal tape. Well, I don't have thermal tape, but maybe there's a path to a quicker heat sink for this thing that has a fan, because I think its fan's actually working. It may be a 486 though. Alright, is it going to detect this hard drive? That is the question. Ooh, that... Well, it's spinning. Well, maybe it's a moot point to install to this drive, because I don't think it's going to detect. Well, that's kind of... Huh. Halted Specialties Company. No, I don't think I remember that company. Right, did I not, like, plug that in? Alright, let me check the jumper. So, oh, is this cable maybe not working? Alright, as I got power. Well, the drive is making some, sounded like the heads moved. Oh, it is not detecting this drive. I am fairly sure it should have detected by now. Let me put the capacity limit jumper on this drive. Oh, okay. There were a surplus store in the Silicon Valley. Maybe I'd heard of them and then forgot about them. It's possible I've actually heard of them, but then I didn't kind of connect the dots. Okay, I just put the capacity limit jumper on that drive. Also possible that drive's not working. Okay, that. Oh, look at that. This drive has command.com on it. I kept on saying weird amount of RAM. It's probably because BIOS shadowing's on. Probably because if you've got a shadow, it will deduct RAM off the count because it maps that RAM to the shadow area. So I have a feeling if I the 512 and a 128, it should be 232 meg sticks. Okay, now I'm curious what you saw because it looks like it's 65,536. Yeah, that's the amount of RAM I expected. It's 232 meg sticks. And the drive picks up right away with the. Oh. Okay. Oh man, we're not. Okay. We're gonna have to pick this build up another night because I had so many troubles with parts. Okay. Does this BIOS really not detect the drive if it reports as an 80 gigabyte drive? I know it's late. This also means I'm going to have to rethink which hard drive to put in here because if it really won't detect an 80 gigabyte hard drive, then I'll save my 80 gigabyte hard drive for a computer that will appreciate it. I think I have enough small drives that I don't need to. Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, it must have a 32 gigabyte limit because it is definitely not detecting that drive without that jumper installed. So I'm going to have to decide if I want to. Hold on, did I? Oh, nope, that's not the drive. I thought I just saw the hard drive I've been looking for. Okay, so I could use this drive and just limit it to 32 gigabytes. But I also just saw the drive, the GoTech I was actually looking for. Well, I guess given the fact that it's like 7 till 12, I guess that's a good enough time to just for me to stop and decide which drive I want to put in here, whether I want to maybe get a SCSI cable and use this drive. That could be pretty cool. Because I can't it is a Apple drive. It's an IBM drive with an Apple logo on it. I mean, I don't know if it works, but I don't have a Mac to use this in. So I could use it in this computer. That could be pretty cool. So there's one option, but I'll have to get a SCSI cable. There's also the possibility that I just use one of my other like under 8 gigabyte drives. In fact, I might use there was a drive I was trying to use with the cache and controller card on Dave's stream while I was trying to test it. That was too big for the caching controller. I don't have any 8.4 gig IDE drives, so I think I've got an 8 gigabyte IDE drive. That is a 9 gigabyte SCSI drive, which would be period correct. I mean, 80 gigabyte IDE drive would not be period correct to when the system would have been new, but certainly would have been period correct that someone needed to install more storage in their industrial computer several years down the road. But obviously this computer doesn't like 80 gigabyte hard drive. I was actually going to set it up to maybe multi-boot, which I wasn't going to be able to do that tonight anyways. So maybe it's just as well I stop here now and then we do the, I guess, further setup later for multi-boot. Because, yeah, I thought that'd be cool to actually multi-boot like DOS and Windows 98 on this. So that was my thought. So I guess I got to figure out what hard drive to put in here. And I'm going to make that a problem for a future stream. But I guess at least the good things are I did wedge the single board computer in here. And I didn't completely destroy it. Although I didn't get to put an MMX processor in it. Oh well. So I guess I need to get a heatsink. One that actually has a fan on it. And I got to pick a hard drive to put in here. And I'm going to have to pick a sound card to put in here. So, many choices for later. So I guess if you're like watching this later and you've got an idea of a cool sound card for an industrial computer, Jeremy, I don't want to adapt to 50-pin SCSI. This SCSI card has the 68-pin connector on it. I want to actually go 68 pin to 68 pin. I want all my speed from my SCSI drive. I'll get a cable. And then hopefully we'll find that this drive has built-in termination so that I don't have to find a terminator. Yeah, I'm going to do 68 pin to 68 pin. I don't think I've ever done wide SCSI. SGI Octane notwithstanding, although technically I haven't got that computer to boot yet, so I really haven't used wide SCSI. Okay, I guess that was a true statement. I have yet to be able to use wide SCSI, partly because I can't get my Octane to boot yet. We'll get back to that. I'm hoping to maybe figure out some things so we can try that again maybe in November. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I have yet to use wide SCSI. I think it'd be cool to get a 68-pin cable. I don't think they're that expensive. yeah, I want to use it for the drive that it is. So maybe that is what I'm going to do, because I've got this drive and I don't have anything else to use it in. So maybe I will get a 68-pin SCSI cable and put this drive to good use. And 9 gigabytes is still plenty big to put maybe a gigabyte for DOS and then 8 gigabytes for Windows 98. That's a decent amount. So maybe that'll be a good amount. So yeah, I guess then it'll just be deciding what sound card. So maybe in the comments, let me know what sound card you'd put in here for DOS and Windows 98 gaming. So we do have, there is 2 ISA slots, and I'm pretty sure that, I mean, there's enough clearance. I can use probably any ISA sound card. And there are also PCI slots, although given this is an HX chipset, I don't think that's a good pairing for DOS gaming, because I don't know that the HX chipset supports any of the DMA modes needed to run a sound card. So Jeremy says Sound Blaster 128. Yeah, nice try, Jeremy. I know you're joking there. Well, I guess Jeremy just sent me a suggestion for a cable. That doesn't... I don't know why that cable doesn't look right, but what do I know? I've not used wide SCSI before. Oh. That might actually be the wrong cable. Maybe that's why it looks weird. I don't know that this is Ultra 320. I'll have to find the datasheet for this single board computer, but I don't know that it's Ultra 320. I think it's just ultra wide. And maybe an Ultra 320 cable will work with ultra wide. Yeah, it just says it's ultra wide SCSI. 68-pin ultra wide. So yeah, I'll just double check it's not a differential cable, because I don't want a differential cable. This drive is clearly marked single-ended, so I'll double check that it's the right cable, but I did add that cable to my watch list, Jeremy, so I won't forget about it. But yeah, you can let me know what sound card you'd put in here. And let's see here, I guess that's... because actually, I'm not sure what one I'd pick. I don't know what feels right in an industrial PC. I don't know if maybe it'd just be a Sound Blaster. Because, I mean, there are industrial PCs I have seen that actually had sound cards in them for whatever reason. Because there are... Jeremy says you can't go wrong with a CT2XXX card. Well, actually, you can go wrong with them in certain circumstances, depending on what goes wrong with the eBay transaction. You can go wrong. Oh, but yeah, you're right. You technically, it's the transaction that went wrong. So yeah, I guess you can't go wrong with those. Except I think, well, I don't want to use a SCSI Sound Blaster card in here. That'd be a waste of a SCSI controller. So you actually could go wrong in this case, because you don't want to use the SCSI version in here because it'll conflict with the SCSI, or you got to disable it. And anyways, yeah, I'm going to do a little research as to what sound cards might have shipped in industrial computers back in the day, because there are industrial computers that I have seen that shipped with sound cards, because depending on what you were running on them, you might get warning sounds through them or something. Or maybe it's an industrial computer that plays audio through a public address system or something, so, and it used the sound card to connect to it. So there are use cases where there were sound cards in them, and I may do a little research to see if I can find what sound cards might have been in them, because it might be cool to, if any of them would have been usable for DOS gaming, it might be cool to pick one of those, just because then I give it a vacation from industrial computing too. But anyways, Jeremy says anything before the CT2 series would be a waste. Well, no worries, Jeremy. My CT1 card is going to stay in my 286. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, it's of course that time of the evening where I implore you to go ahead and smash that like button if you like this live stream. Go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss the next exciting live stream. Jeremy's saying, except the CT1790. I hope you all realize that when you rattle off Sound Blaster card models, I don't recognize them right offhand. I think that's one thing that Creative did wrong, was call them all the same thing and give them different model numbers. But I guess the industry didn't learn that because Apple does the same thing sometimes. And you got to go look at the model number to figure out what it is. And even then, depending on which number you look at, it's still the same. Thanks, Apple. Yeah, so I'll have to look up what the CT1790 is. That is not ringing a bell right offhand. And this Wikipedia article is not helping me, because if I don't look at it now... wait a minute. Why is the 17... Actually, I am going to have to say that there is one other... Yeah, Sound Blaster just scrambled the same numbers. Jeremy's saying maybe a Vibra 16. Actually, a Vibra 16 would... I don't... Alright, I am... still not sure why this 1790 is... Alright, I'll have to sort the model numbers out later. Alright, so there's a vote for maybe the 1790. I know, Jeremy, that was just for the pics. I'm still going to have to sort it out because I'm looking at the picture and my brain is going, well, that's a Sound Blaster 16. I don't see what's different about it versus the other CT 1700 series cards. Other than I do see it has a OPL3 on it, so I can't even tell what drive interface is on the end of the card because, well, in this case, the eBay seller didn't take great photos. I can't tell what drive interface is on that card. Anyways, well, actually, I think, Jeremy, there is one other 1700 series card that I would say is not a waste. And that would be if you manage to pick one up that has the ASP chip on it. Although that's kind of weird because there was only like one game that supported it, but still I'm a weird. The Vibra 16 could be a good one. That's a plug-and-play card. This is a plug-and-play system. Vibra 16 might actually not be a bad match. And I think I have a Vibra 16 that has an actual OPL3 chip on it. So, that might not actually be a bad combo. I'll ponder that one. Because actually, this would be a good use for one of my plug-and-play cards. Leave the jumper set ones for an older computer. Alright. I'll put Vibra 16 in my list of potential cards. And, yeah, so... Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the next live stream on this or any of my other topics. Because you'll want to know what sound card I actually pick and if I manage to actually find a hard drive that will be suitable for this computer. And with that, so next week I have a video card testing stream. It's currently scheduled for Tuesday. I'm not totally set on keeping it Tuesday. I may pick another topic for Tuesday. I had an idea, and it was related to the package that I'm going to have to go pick up at the post office this weekend that came from a European country that I have to sign for because it got sent registered mail. So that actually might be Tuesday's actual live stream topic, and we do the video card testing Thursday, but I'll ponder that this weekend. So don't worry, I will live stream Tuesday. It just, the current live stream scheduled for Tuesday may get moved to Thursday, and I schedule a new live stream in its place. So stay tuned for that. And without further ado, I would like to wish everyone a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining, hanging out for the chat, and for the moral support as I kind of fought with lack of documentation on this board. With that, take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.